you kind of need to be able to hear what's going on. Back it up.
Through either regeneration or fibrosis. When damaged, tissue can repair itself through either regeneration or fibrosis. Regeneration replaces damaged cells with the same type of cells, resulting in functional new tissue. In fibrosis, damaged tissue is replaced with scar tissue, which is composed mainly of collagen. Scar tissue does not restore normal function. When a cut occurs in the skin, the severed blood vessels bleed into the wound. A blood clot soon forms. When the surface of the blood clot dries, it forms a scab. Beneath the scab, white blood cells begin to ingest bacteria and cellular debris. The healthy tissue surrounding the wound sends blood, nutrients, proteins, and other materials necessary for growing new tissue to the damaged area. The newly formed tissue is called granulation tissue. Fibroblasts in the granulation tissue secrete collagen, which forms scar tissue inside the wound. The surface area around the wound generates new epithelial cells. These cells migrate beneath the scab. Eventually, the scab loosens and falls off to reveal new, functional tissue. So when a cut occurs in the skin, the epithelium regenerates, while the underlying tissue heals by fibrosis.
Let's look at some membranes, which can be, again, another thing that we will see time and time again, because when we talk about digestive system, the respiratory system, the cardiac system, we will talk about these membranes again. So they're not ever going to go away as well. The first membrane I'll talk about very quickly because it's very simple. It's your cutaneous membrane, and I think about it continues all over. So that is our skin, is a cutaneous membrane, as well as in the mouth, which we changed to a mucous membrane, but it is continuous. It goes all over the skin, inside all of our cavities, even going down and lining the stomach. So that was all epithelial. But we'll call it a cutaneous membrane. Think about when you get, for my people that will be doing phlebotomy and things, there's stuff called subcutaneous injection. That would be underneath this layer, that cutaneous membrane. Now, when we start lining cavities with that, such as the mouth, the nasal, urethras, the vagina, all of those are going to be called mucous membranes. So anything that opens up to the environment, which is hazardous, we could be taking in any type of bacteria or something foreign coming into our body, then we produce what's called mucus. So we call it a mucous membrane. Even in your ears we produce cecum is a type of mucus. So why do we produce mucus, say in your nasal cavities, as well as in your mouth? Why are we producing?
Get out the bacteria.
Yeah, we'll trap things. Even dust, that's foreign. Shouldn't be in our respiratory system. Back when they had the Depression and they had all the dust storms, all that, they were getting what's called red lung from breathing all that dust. I mean, that's not a pathogen or anything, but it is foreign to us. It should not be in our respiratory system. Same thing with smoking. Smoking is something foreign, lots of horrible, horrible chemicals like formaldehyde going into our body, and mucus is trapping it. That's why they always had those nasty smokers' coughs. So it's really loose coughs that sound really gross when they start to laugh. And
That's just the cigarettes, though, right?
Yeah, that's from smoking. Yeah. So mucous membranes trap stuff so we can get it out. So it's a good protective thing for us. Let's look at the lungs here. you have a membrane. So this was a cutaneous membrane. Inside here, producing mucus, is a mucous membrane. These that are lining here, your pleura membranes, your pericardium, those are all called serous membranes. We're dealing with organs, so this is very serious. It's not something to play around with. We need some very high-tech membranes. Serous membranes make what is called a serous fluid. This fluid is very slippery. It's clear and slippery, and it needs to be. Because number one, with your lungs, we have what is called a visceral pleura. And when I think pleura, I think plural. I have two lungs. Pleura means lungs. Have y'all had that in midterm yet? The lung one? I don't remember how they do it either. So we have two lungs, the pleura. The one, any type of membrane that sits on top of an organ is going to be called visceral. If you've ever read a book or anything that says it gave me a visceral reaction, that means a gut reaction, like it made me physically ill to my stomach. That's visceral. It's a visceral feeling, a gut feeling. So visceral pleura means it's sitting right on top of the lungs. Whereas parietal pleura is lining inside this thoracic cage, these ribs. Oh, he's way over there, or I'd bring him over here. So lining inside that cavity is parietal pleura. On top of the lungs is visceral pleura. Now the reason you need two different types of membranes, serous membranes, is because what happens when those lungs inflate and then they deflate? They're slapping up against the rib cage every time. Now these lung tissue is very fragile. And so I really do not need them slapping up against anything rough or sticky, because when they exhale and deflate, we could rip them open. So that's why we need two different types of membranes sliding against each other. Because every time you inhale and exhale, does it hurt? No. Now, if you get some type of injury and you have blood in between those membranes, or say you get pneumonia and you get pus in between these membranes, that hurts. If you've ever had pneumonia and you take a deep breath and it's like, oh God, it's a sharp pain, it's because of that pus that is in between those membranes, and it's not sliding against each other nice and smooth anymore. There's something
like
rough.
hitting your rib?
No, it's hitting pus, and it should not be there, because we should just slide across. I think of serous fluid kind of like the bubbles, the fluid, not when you blow them, but how it feels. It's real slippery. That's how serous fluid is.
Well, like when I, for a while there, like after, like even just like little activity, it would hurt really, really bad to breathe in. So I didn't know.
And
my mom would take me to the doctor for it. She was like, "Oh, whatever, not hurt," and it was hurting bad.
And you had pneumonia?
No, I didn't have. I don't know. It just it hurt. I don't know why. Like even I would be laying in bed and like Ray would be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it hurt."
I don't know
What is
then.
that?
Could have been, but I don't
Because
know.
it still happens like every now and then. Like I
Oh.
don't even have to be doing anything. I'm like, oh.
I don't know then. I have no clue. There's no telling. Okay. So the pericardium, cardium meaning heart, the pericardial sac is this whole membrane here. So you have two layers again. You have a visceral pericardium, and then you have a parietal pericardium, just like the lungs. So you have visceral laying on top of the heart, and then you have parietal on the outside, creating a pericardial sac, or the pericardium. Both of those layers together is called the pericardium. So when the heart is beating inside the sac, it definitely does not want to be rubbing up against something rough and hard. So again, two membranes just sliding across each other. That's it. The last one is your peritoneum. Have you covered this one in midterm yet? Peritoneum? Okay. This is like for my hunters that go and hunt and you cut open and slice open the deer. Any hunters in here? Have you done that? Okay. So do you just go way in deep and just slit it open? No, you really shouldn't. Because what are you slicing open? You can get the stomach, the intestines.
Yeah.
The intestines is the problem. Because what is found in there? Lots of nasty stuff. Lots of bacteria. Lots of stuff that could taint the meat and make it bad for us to eat. So actually when they go in, they open it up. They don't go just straight down inside deep, or shouldn't. What they should do is open the skin up, and then once they do, all this just kind of falls out in one big thing, doesn't it? It's like a big sack that it'll just roll out in, right? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, some of you have, or you can watch a YouTube video and you can see it. So yeah, they try to just slice it open and then keep intact the sack. So then you don't have all the poop and stuff just pouring out. And then it could, get inside the meat or anything. That is the peritoneum, that sac that all these digestive organs are in. That's it. So, on top of all the organs, the stomach, the intestines, is called your visceral peritoneum. Lining inside that cavity of the deer, when you flay it open, it's shiny. If you wash it out, it's real shiny and clear. That's the parietal peritoneum that you're looking at. It's lining inside the skin. When you flap it open, it's real shiny. And you can go all the way up through the back and see it nice and shiny. Again, when we do our pigs, you'll be able to see this. You'll be able to see the peritoneum. So visceral on top of the organs, parietal is lining inside that abdominal cavity.
Miss Whitney,
Yes.
when do we do the pigs?
We will start doing them when we do digestive is probably, no, we do thoracic. So respiratory, we'll do. Okay, so which membrane lines body surfaces? And it's open to the exterior world. All this outside here. What did we call it? Cutaneous? Did I read it wrong? Which membranes line body surfaces that open directly to the body's exterior? Okay, so lines inside cavities that are opening to the outside world. Your mucous membranes, they're opening up to the outside world. Okay, make sure you read your chapter 4 and do your chapter 3 and chapter 4 quizzes.